This is Journey Home by Chris HAUGEN from the YouTube Audio Library. Welcome. How are each and every one of you doing? Welcome. How are you doing, Boxer King? What song would you like to suggest? How are you doing? What does that say? I can't make out your name. I think it says Arikun, something like that. Well, welcome to each and every one of you, those that I can see in the comments and those that I cannot see in the comments. Hopefully soon YouTube will make a change so the comments will be more clear and that all of the comments will be visible. Perhaps we can make a suggestion about that. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining in. It's going to be a quick and I just want to say hello to each and every one of you. Greetings, salutations, shalom. How are you doing? Where are you watching from? Drop in the comments where you're watching from. Definitely want to know where you're watching from. Somebody wanted to hear a song, suggest a song. What song is it that you would like to hear? What kind of music do you like? That's right, engage. This is a place to interact. Definitely want to hear from you. How are you doing? And again, my name is Shifrah Yocheved Yisrael. I'm here to bring something of priceless value to you, not to take anything away from you. This is the love circle. This is a safe place. Here we talk about kingdom marriage, the king and the queen. The king is in the field, as you know. This is KAYITZ, summertime, which is about to move into a different season soon, and it is ELUL. ELUL, the king is in the field. And there's a lot going on that is good. Share Hashirim, Song of Song 6-3. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. So let's get right into it, shall you? Let's get right into it, shall we? So thank you so much for joining in, each and every one of you. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, connect. Definitely want to hear from you. And you can always send an email or you can drop something in the comments if you would like to. Let's see. Mm, so thank you so much for joining in. This is a love circle, and we're talking about LOVE, love. This is definitely the season and time for romance. Hi, how are you doing? I need to get your name right. I can't see your name. Mm, I still don't know how to say your name, but it is Aricrin. Aricrin. I hope I said it correctly, but anyway, thank you so much for joining in. Thank each and every one of you that are watching right here on the live or on the replay. Let's get right into this right here and right now. This is something that most people are not talking about today, but we need to talk about it as it pertains to kingdom marriage. And the title for this live is Sweet Freedom in Holiness and Purity. It's not as it sounds. So, anyway, I just want to give you some of what came to me to share. And this may not be for everybody, but somebody may need to hear this right here and right now. As we know, and this is definitely nothing to do with anything political or religious whatsoever. This is just an observation of mine. Just to give you some background, my mother, she was married for like 61 plus years with the same man, just her and him. She didn't get married to any other man. She didn't have any other guy or any other man or boy in her life other than her husband. And today, there's so much going on with relationships, especially marriages, because of the wrong mindset, the wrong perspective. So, I just want to share some words of encouragement to help those out there, whether you're married, unmarried, whether you're engaged, betrothed, whatever your marital status is. Each and every one of us could always use some words of encouragement and also wisdom. Words of wisdom are always good. So I learned a lot from my mother since she was an expert on marriage and parenting and a whole lot of other topics. She was not a timid woman whatsoever. She was the youngest of 16 children. She was very bold, brave, courageous, and outspoken. She was not one who was hesitant to speak her mind, I would say. Very outspoken, but she was also very wise. She knew how to speak to people in a way that was respectful, even if she did not agree with them. So, what is being highlighted right now is division, as we know. Division, division, division. Division is not good. Division is not good at all. So we should always be respectful with one another, and we should also respect ourselves. So, sweet freedom in holiness and purity. This is the topic, the title. And what came to me was integrity, innocence, monogamy, loyalty, kindness, and wisdom. I'm going to highlight some of it and talk a little about it and go into more detail with each word. But we have to keep in mind that in all relationships, if we want for someone to treat us in a way that's courteous and polite with respect, we need to do the same to others as well. We need to be mindful of the words that we speak and how we treat people because the way we treat people comes back to us. It comes back to us, whether we like it or not, whether we want to admit it or not, but it definitely comes back to us. And we need to treat ourselves with respect. We need to be polite. We need to be pleasant. We definitely need to do that. So, I want to share with you what I have. I want to share with you exactly what it is that I have learned for myself so that you will know exactly what is on my heart. It's not to criticize anybody, it's not to condemn anybody, it's not to throw any darts at anybody, but this is just to share, just so we can interact with one another, so we can have encouragement, so that we can have the keys, so that we know exactly how to speak and how to treat each other in all relationships, not just in the marriage relationship, which is very important, but we need to respect all people. Integrity is extremely important. We need to have good character, we need to have integrity. Innocence is pretty much not spoken about much these days at all. And monogamy is what is necessary, especially in the marriage relationship. You want to be faithful and true to your spouse and vice versa. There needs to be mutual respect and mutual faithfulness. Even though it may not be popular and most people don't want to talk about it today, it may not be a hot topic, but it is very important. How are you doing? Someone said, "Hi, Queen. How are you doing?" And loyalty is very important in any friendship, but we need to also be loyal to ourselves. We need to be a true friend to ourselves. And kindness is definitely one of the important keys to any relationship. We need to have kindness. We need to be kind to each other. We need to be kind to ourselves, right? Wisdom. Wisdom is extremely important. We need to be wise. Wisdom is extremely important. We need wisdom for everything. We need wisdom for relationships. We need wisdom for everything in our lives. Everything requires wisdom and understanding, and we need knowledge. However, I just want to share some of what my mother shared with me about marriage, about love, romance, and relationships with people. So we should treat people better than they treat us, of course, but we're not here to be anybody's doormat or slave or puppet or any of that. So definitely we need to be careful of how we allow other people to treat us, because each and every one of us has value and worth. We're not here so somebody could walk over us or break our hearts or humiliate us or harass us or any of that. However, my mother told me something that I probably didn't want to hear once in my life. I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but it's very important. It's extremely important that what happened to us? It's extremely important that we respect ourselves and respect others as well. So we need to be careful about the words that we speak and exactly how we treat other people. We need to be mindful of it and we need to be intentional about it. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We don't want to be disrespectful to anybody for any reason at all. And it's not always easy to interact with people, especially when people are not nice, when people are not kind, when people are not respectful, when people are harsh and rude. And we have to keep in mind that sometimes when people go through challenges in their lives or difficulty or when they were abused or whatever it is, they can exhibit certain behavior that is alarming to us, that is disturbing, that they may not realize, and we need to bring it to their attention, but in a loving way, in a kind way, in a gentle way, not being brash, not being rude, not being impolite, of course, We need to be very careful how we talk to one another, and we need to be very careful how we let people talk to us. However, my mother shared something with me. I believe I was a teenager at the time, and I still remember it to this day because my mother, she was always wise. Even when she was a teenager, many of her family members would talk about how wise she was, how mature she always was, and how quiet she always was. It's good to be someone of very few words. And today, people are very talkative, a little more outspoken. Some people are rude and polite. The words may not always be sweet. However, my mother gave me some good, wise counsel. She told me that I need to think about what I do before I do it because there's consequences to everything that you do. So it matters how other people see us, even though some people may say, I don't care what other people think. But we should care to some degree what other people think because our actions, our words, everything that we do, somebody's watching, somebody's listening. It's impacting somebody's life in some way, shape, or form. So we should be mindful of all of that. And we should always respect ourselves enough not to do certain things that will bring shame on us later. And being in a marriage relationship, being in that marriage covenant, we have to be sure that we're not allowing ourselves to be in places and spaces with people when it could come back on us later, or maybe your spouse doesn't like it or something like that. You know what I mean? Because if you're married, you have to be extremely careful and cautious about what you do, where you go, and who's around you. So, the priceless, rare gems of becoming a wife, a kingdom wife, is to respect yourself. And that doesn't mean that you have to be totally isolated, but you still need to be one who is guarding your heart, guarding your mind, not allowing anybody and everybody to be around you, whether it's man or woman, doesn't matter. If this person or these people have are involved in certain things that you're just not into, it's just not a good idea to be around them. And I've learned this over time, especially from my mother sharing information with me, for giving me words of wisdom, words of encouragement, words of correction that I did not always like, but she was right. So we don't, if you don't smoke and you don't drink, it's not good to have those friends around you that do that because you don't share that in common. You know what I mean? Not that anybody should smoke or drink anyway, but I'm just using that as an example. So, what would you have in common? This is what they like to do on the weekend. So, if you're hanging out with them and you don't like smoking, you don't like drinking, it's gonna annoy you to some degree. So, it's good that we have things in common with people. Not that we are to look down on anybody. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But if you know that you don't like tennis, it's not going to be a good idea for you to be in a close relationship with a girlfriend or a woman or lady or whatever that always wants to play tennis because you don't want to play tennis. And perhaps you just want to go get your nails done. You may have some other interests, but that's not saying that you can't have a friend that plays tennis. I'm just using some examples of what it could be because some things are very positive. It doesn't make a difference. Other things have a negative impact. If you have a friend or associate that is disrespectful to her husband or to her mother, to her children, and she's always speaking words that are not good and always getting easily frustrated and has a little bit of road rage, you may want to talk to her in private in a nice, kind, gentle way and tell her this is not going to benefit her to be like this, to have this type of attitude, that she might want to make some changes to her behavior. So, anyway, in order to get to that destination or to that victory, we have to be ones who do the right thing. So, we want to have the right keys to open or unlock the right doors or opportunities in our lives. So, if you really want to be in a serious, intimate relationship and be close to your kingdom spouse, husband, or wife, it requires that we do our part as well. We can't put everything on the men. You can't do that. You can't say, oh, the men have to do this and do that, and then we don't do our part. It is, it has to be reciprocal. So, what we want them to do, we need to do it as well. And keep in mind that men do have feelings, men do care, and men can be embarrassed or humiliated just like a woman can. So we want to make sure that we have integrity, innocence, monogamy, loyalty, kindness, wisdom, and we want to be sure that we examine our hearts and our minds. Are we in the right places and spaces with the right people? We need to make these wise choices so it will definitely lead us to the right path, to the right road, so we can build and cultivate healthy relationships. And of course, yes, holiness and purity, we should also consider that. But keep in mind that purity, to be pure, to live a clean and pure life, is not as difficult as one may think. It all starts with a decision, a choice, and we should always use wisdom in those choices. Just like you wouldn't want to drive too fast in a residential area that has a 40 miles per hour speed limit, you definitely won't want to be in a dangerous place and take risk unnecessarily, which could jeopardize some of the most important relationships in your life, like with your mother, with your children, and especially with your spouse. So keep that in mind that the way we live our lives, how we dress, and what we wear, and how we speak to others, all of that matters to some degree. So we need to be mindful of all of that. We need to take it into consideration that it could attract the wrong people. Not saying that anybody did anything wrong, but we just have to keep that in mind, especially in this day and time. In the spiritual hour we're in right now, we have to be ones who have understanding, who have clarity and wisdom, discernment, and also divine revelation so that we can examine our hearts and our minds, our actions, our motives, our words, and everything about us without being overthinkers or too critical. So that's the end of that. I just wanted to share that. I know when my mother was telling me certain things when I was a teenager, I didn't necessarily want to hear it, but I'm telling you, it led me to have the understanding that she was right and she was wise. And of course, she knew a lot more than I did. And I'm so thankful and grateful that she told me because those are the words that I hold on to today that I treasure, even though she's not here anymore. I'm so thankful. It's nothing like a wise mother. It's nothing like a wise sister. It's nothing like a wise friend. It's nothing like someone in your life who cares enough about you to tell you the truth. So if you don't have family and friends, associates, or whoever, whatever their role is in your life who will tell you the truth, maybe a mentor, a teacher, perhaps someone is like a mother to you. I have a lot of those as well. Or somebody is like a big sister to you, a big brother or father figure. You definitely want to treasure those who will tell you the truth, who will tell you what you may not want to hear at the right time to make you better, to help you so that you can be the best version of yourself that you can be. So thank you so much for joining in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, connect. And remember, there is nothing in this life that's better than love. You can't buy love, you can't sell love. Love is a gift that is given, and all of us need it. You need it, I need it, we need it. Where will we be without love? I don't know. I don't want to think about it. But this is Journey Home. This is Journey Home by Chris HAUGEN. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful night, whatever the time zone is where you are. And sweet sleep until the next time. Encourage yourself and encourage others because we are blessed to be a blessing.